What's up, party people? I'm Chris with Profoto, and this is Geared Up. This is our tri-weekly live event broadcast where we talk about gear, lighting techniques, and any other thing that you might have lighting, or questions you might have lighting related. So, just so you know kind of what's going on, if you're watching this on Profoto.com right now, you're going to see some things fly up on the edges of the screen whenever we're talking about them. So like whenever I say the D2, you're probably going to see a picture of a D2 pop up there. If you want some more information on that product, you can click that link right there. That's on Profoto.com only. If you're watching this on YouTube and Facebook, you're not going to see that, but you can always click the link to jump over to Profoto.com and check that out if you want that experience. But again, there could be links here, could be some links here, here. I'm not really sure where I'm pointing to, but I know they're around there somewhere. So, but again, if you want to go check out some of those products, you can click that. And if you're on Profoto.com, it won't take you away from the video. It'll downsize into the corner, and we can keep talking about what we're going to talk about, and you can check out some stuff. But in the meantime, let's dive into what we're talking about today. So, let's get into it. Today we're going to be talking about how to stop action with your flash. Specifically the D2. I have a Profoto B10X Plus in this as well, and that's just because I don't have another RFI strip box with me right now, and it would be remiss of me to put a D2 on an OCF softbox. The continuous light gets really, the modeling lamp on a D2 gets really hot, and it's not really made for the OCF stuff. So I opted to do the right thing and throw a B10X Plus over there. So, but we're gonna be talking about flash duration, what that is, and how flash can stop that action. So let's dive into it. So you have two different ways of speeding up your flash. The first option you're gonna have is what most people go to with their camera, which is just turning your shutter speed up really, really fast. So some cameras can go up to 4,000 of a second, some cameras can go up to 8,000th of a second. So in a lot of people's mind, the option is just speed your shutter up. And that can work in some instances. Like if the action is not too terribly fast, you can use high-speed sync and stop some of that action. But the difference is, is that high-speed sync has this ability, or has this characteristic in which the flash duration is really long, and it has to do that because as your curtain opens, it has to turn the light on essentially and act like a constant light. It's got a lot of pulses in it, and this is happening in the time that you only perceive a flash. But essentially what happens is, as soon as your curtain opens, the light turns on like a continuous light and then starts pulsing. So the light is on for a very, very long time while your curtain is moving across the plane of your sensor. That's how you're able to illuminate it edge to edge. So while yes, the speed in which your shutter opens and closes is pretty fast, that light is on for a long time. And the more light that you actually have inside of the system, the more action doesn't necessarily get stopped. So there's another option, and that's called flash duration. This is something that people don't know so much about, but you might look on the back of your Profoto light and see something that says freeze. And essentially what that is it's taking your flash and it's truncating it, it's chopping it off, so that your flash is actually on for less time. And the less time that your light is on, the more action it actually stops, because the thing that's moving is only lit for a moment. It's for just the tiniest amount of time. So the faster you can get that flash duration, the less time that you light the action, the more of that action you're gonna stop. And we're gonna see that today. And the cool thing about flash duration is it's infinitely faster than, I say infinitely, and that's not true, but it's multiple times faster than your fastest flashes. So say the Pro 10 and the Pro 11, for example. So my camera can go up to 1/8,000th of a second. Cool? The Pro 10 and the Pro 11 packs can go up to 1/80,000th of a second. That's 10 times faster than the shutter speed on my camera. So that is going to give me more ability to stop the action than using my high-speed sync. You see what I'm saying? So the D2, for example, so our D2 500, which we have right here, is our fastest of our mono block lights. So it's 160, I think it's actually 163,000th of a second flash durations at TO5. So it's a really, really fast light. On top of that, you have the crazy fast flash durations, or sorry, the crazy fast recycle speeds that this thing can do. The 500 watt unit can recycle in half a second at full power, which is pretty awesome. So, and we're only shooting at 1/32nd power today. So Flash duration is going to give you much more speed. The only downside that you have to worry about flash duration, and this is where high-speed sync may have an advantage, is when you're trying to stop some action outside, when there's a lot of ambient light. When you're using the flash duration setup of your with your flashes, you have to stay below your camera sync speed. You just have to, because high-speed sync is a longer flash duration, and freeze mode is a shorter flash duration. They can't do the same thing at the same time. So if there's a lot of ambient light and you're trying to shoot closed down, or you're trying to shoot a little more open, then you're going to want to probably go the high-speed sync route. But we're inside of a studio. We're in a place that we can control that. Freeze mode is better for us. So let's talk about what we have today. And the reason that I chose, just for the record, the B10X Plus to go along with this is because the B10X has an insanely fast flash duration as well, up to 1/50,000th of a second. So really fast lights to be able to do this. So what are we doing today setup wise? Let's talk about this so I don't have my back to the camera. So we're going to put a seltzer water inside the glass. We have some fruit that Kate's going to drop into it while we're photographing it, and we're just going to stop the splashes. We're going to get all of that, the seltzer water that gets kicked up, it's all going to be right there. It should be really cool. And what we can do is we'll take a shot in freeze mode, and then I'll take it out of freeze mode, and we can see if there's a big difference. Generally, I mean, there should be a pretty big difference between where we are now, but depending on your flash power, the higher your flash power, the longer your flash duration is going to be. So you want to try to keep the flash power, 6 and below on these lights if you can. And then some other lights, you want to try to keep it like the B1X, for example. When you're in freeze mode, you want to try to keep it at flash power 4 and below. So something to keep in mind. So that being said,
you ready for me?
We're ready to rock and roll. Lights again, a D2 500 with a 1x4 strip and a grid. A B10X Plus, that's a 500 watt light with a 1x4 strip and a grid. And those are the only two lights we're going to use. We're actually going to dim these down so there's not extra light intruding into the shot, and we're going to have some fun. So it's going to get dark in here. You'll be able to see our silhouettes.
Hi guys, how you doing?
You'll be able to see our silhouettes.
Great.
And not much more than that. So let's take...
Cool.
So camera-wise, a lot of people always ask camera I use or what lenses I'm using. This is the 80 millimeter on a Fujifilm system, so it's 120 millimeters macro lens. And then camera's XT3, air remote, all that good stuff. Kate's gonna...
Oh, I already did it. Oh, I did not need to do that.
I can also see your leg. So, yes.
Ah, okay. What about now?
Yeah, you're fine now. 3, 2, 1. Cool.
That's pretty.
Yeah, it's very pretty. And so I'm going to kick these things out of freeze mode for just a moment and see what this looks like without freeze mode. One thing to know about freeze mode, if you're going to have one flash in freeze mode, have all of your flashes in freeze mode, because the flash pulse gets cut off, gets chopped off. It also chops off some of the light spectrum. So what can happen is it can give a little bit of a blue cast. You should see the difference in between these next shots right here. But it can give a little bit of a blue cast. And if you have one light in freeze mode and one light not in freeze mode, you could get kind of a little mismesh of light, and you have to either try to fix that in post. And I don't want y'all to have to do all that extra work. So here we go, Kate. 3, 2, 1. Cool. Yeah, you can see that the color balance changed a whole bunch. Let's do a couple of shots where we drop like some fruit into there. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, go for it. I have fruit right here.
Yeah, I'm just putting this back into freeze mode. So I wanted to get those two shots really fast side by side so you could see the difference between the color of freeze mode and the color of normal mode. And we're going to put these back into freeze mode now. This is very cool. But this is fun stuff to play with, and you can do all kinds of crazy stuff. I've been on set with someone who does, all this, like tons of like macro photography and liquids and stuff like that, and they had this crazy machine that could shoot things into things. It was amazing. Like it was shooting like ink and like crashing splashes together. So the macro and the splash photography thing I think is really fun, and the flash duration thing is really cool too. So bring your hand, there we go. You can bring your hand down a little bit. I can also see your leg. Yeah. Bring your hand down a little bit more. All right, come back up. Right there should be good.
You ready?
3, 2, 1. Oh, you know what I need to do? I'm gonna put this thing into continuous. So you gonna drop another one in there?
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it.
Yeah, I would just leave it in there. Wouldn't come down a little bit. Down. I just want to make sure we don't knock the glass over down a little bit more.
It's fine.
3, 2, 1. Cool. And because we're shooting at lower powers too, the pulse rate is pretty incredible. So I know you guys probably saw that shot go off. So let's turn the lights back up. Let's look at some of these shots so we can see the differences. And yeah,
Sweet.
it's fun stuff.
And I'm gonna eat some strawberries.
And Caitlin's gonna eat some strawberries out of seltzer water. Don't be smacking. Okay. Cool. But it's really, really fun stuff. Flash duration's cool. Once you start to understand the idea of like, in the flash duration world, your flash is actually your shutter speed. So it doesn't matter that you're below your sync speed or even lower. I mean, you could technically go into bulb mode, and the thing that's stopping the action is the flash. It's not your camera. So I think that's the thing that kind of blows people's minds, or people have a hard time wrapping their head around, like, how can me not being at 8,000 of a second on my camera be faster than, or stop action better than, this lower camera speed. And you have to remember that once we're talking flash duration and we're talking about light control, the flash is your shutter, not your camera. So keep that in mind. So let's go up here to the shots with, I believe, so here we go. Let's go here. Did I miss focus? I feel like I missed focus. I think I totally missed focus. It's not. I definitely missed focus. Somehow I'm an nincompoop. Just waiting for it to clear. We're gonna have to. I think we're gonna have to redo this.
Let's do it.
I apologize, peeps. Apparently, I didn't pull focus. Am I in manual mode? No. Apparently, I just didn't. It didn't lock on where it needed to lock on. Okay. So.
Shall we?
Much apologies, everyone. Let's do this one more time.
Here, I have a fresh glass.
Yeah, and I'm gonna just make sure that I have focus before we do this again. Because that's good right there. I mean, I see the bubbles. I mean, look how tight those bubbles are. It's pretty cool. But what did I do up here? Yeah, see, it totally pulled focus in the wrong spot. Okay. Do this one more time, because I'm an nincompoop.
Redo.
Redos are fun.
Redos are always fun.
I gotta kill these lights, that way we don't have any contamination. Oh man, I wish I would've checked that first. Note to self, check focus before you stop doing all your stuff. It's a good thing I didn't turn anything else off. All right, cool. So let's pull focus right here. I'm gonna take a shot. Let's make sure we're good. It's so many frames a second. Okay, cool. Rim of the glass is in. Let's do this. Let's lock focus. All right, I'm ready. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Oh, that's way better. Very, very cool. So let me do one more shot in a non-freeze mode. That way I can actually show you the differences. You know what the cool thing about doing stuff live is? You have to learn how to not get embarrassed by stuff.
That's true.
So.
Well, I mean, if you're on a shoot with,
Stuff happens.
Stuff happens live, right?
Stuff happens. But it's fun. All right, here we go. I've got my focus locked, so we're good. 3, 2, 1. Cool. And let's just grab a piece of fruit, drop it in there just for funsies. I'm gonna go back to freeze mode.
Strawberries.
Thanks for hanging with us. For everybody who's watching Chris bumble and fumble today, it's fun stuff.
Give it something to
Cool.
splash.
I'm ready to rock and roll.
All right. You just tell me.
I'm ready. 3, 2, 1. Very cool.
Pretty.
Hey guys, we have it in focus. We can actually look at this now. Thanks, Kate.
You're welcome.
Oh, you didn't die, did you?
No, we're
Close?
Close. Always close.
Living on the edge. It's dangerous here, guys.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that anyone wants to be involved with this. Living on the edge. All right, cool. Let's pull up a shot. Make sure that I'm back in this frame situation. All right, let's pull up a shot so you can see the difference in the color. There we go. So I need this shot. And let's go with something like this. So here's what I was talking about, color difference. So you can see that in your freeze mode, this is much bluer. Granted, since all my lights are together for the most part, or they are together, they're essentially the same power, they're both in freeze mode. You can easily color balance this back out. So that's not something to worry about. It's just something to be cognizant of, that you're like, oh my gosh, why is my shot so blue? When it's truncating into that flash pulse, it's chopping out those warm tones. So it's going to get a little bit cooler. And so you can see the difference between the two. We are low enough power that for the most part, I mean, hold on, let's see here. So you can see this right here, not frozen, right? Moving pretty fast. It's got a lot of edge blur. Right here, much sharper. And that's the difference between freeze mode and normal mode. Because that flash pulse is so much shorter, it can stop more of this happening, more of the splash, more of the movement. I mean, look at these little droplets down here. Look at this. It's pretty incredible. Whereas if you go kind of over here, it's got a little bit of edge blur. It just, I mean, you can see it. I think they can see it pretty good. Yeah.
Yes.
So you can see the edge blur. That's why you want to use freeze mode. How much time do we have? We're at 19 minutes. I kind of want to, can I take one shot? Can we just hang for 3 more seconds? I want to take one shot in high speed sync.
Sure, let's do it.
And just see the difference. I need my Connect. That's the one thing I don't know that I have handy. I might not be able to.
It's in my purse. You want me to go run into the house and grab?
You know what? I don't have my Connect on me. I don't have my TCL trigger to do this with, so we'll save this for another time. But just seeing the difference between the two, I think is really, really cool. It's playing with flash duration is really, really fun. I like stop in action. And now you know the difference between freeze mode and the difference between using normal mode, and you know why things like the D2 and its super fast flash duration are pretty crucial. So thank you all so much for kicking it with us today. If you have any if you have any questions and you want to jump into one of our one-on-one breakout sessions, if you want to talk to anybody about what a certain light does, what you may need to get a job done, and what we can provide for you, you can jump into one of those one-on-one breakout sessions. It's in the comment section. You can click the link, and Anders might be there today, so you can talk to Anders if you'd like to. Anders is chilling. So Anders is on a one-on-one. He gets very, very lonely. So even if you just want to click the link and say hi to him, he would love that so much. Just make him feel special. But in the meantime, I hope you have a great rest of your day. We will see you tomorrow for more Geared Up.